I'm done. It's over. I'm going back to braids. For those of you who may be new to my channel, for the past 6 months, I have been doing a no braids with added hair challenge. In this video, I'm going to be explaining why I'm ending my challenge a little bit early, what I learned from my challenge, and what I'm planning on doing next. So I was supposed to end this challenge on June 1st. I'm not sure when I'm going to post this video, but we are at the end of April when I'm filming it, so I'm ending my challenge about a month early. And the reason why I'm ending the challenge is because I'm planning on going on vacation. And while I love my natural hair and we are best buds, when I go on vacation, I leave my hair with a babysitter. So for me, that is more than enough reason to end the challenge and figure out a different long-term protective style. But regardless of all of that, I want to start off with talking about the positives and things that I did learn during this challenge. Number one, I pushed myself out of my comfort zone. I have never, in my natural hair journey, worn my natural hair out for 5 months. I have predominantly used braids with added hair to help me to retain length. And I've done that back to back to back over the past 5 or so years of my natural hair journey. So this is the first time in my life that I've ever had to deal with my natural hair for this stretch of time. And that really tested me in a lot of ways. One, it tested me with how am I gonna actually do my hair? Like, how am I gonna style it? I learned a lot of things about styling my hair during this challenge. And I did things that I had never done before. For example, I learned a lot about crochet hair and how using a crochet hairstyle would allow me to keep a large portion of my hair protected while still being able to represent what my 4C hair would look like, which was awesome. That allowed me to have my hair out at work events, which is something that I've never done before, and I just really enjoyed that experience. I also realized that I was wrong in thinking that being a twisted natural is boring. I like to dress up, I like to be sparkly, I like to play with my look and experiment with different things. So I always felt like just leaving my hair in twists or in mini braids for years at a time just didn't really fit my vibe. The way that my ADD is set up, I just always thought that that was something that would be way too boring for me. Whereas with my braids, I was always able to experiment with different colors, different textures, different lengths. So I was always able to express myself in a creative way. I really feel like black hair is an art, and we are some of the most creative creatures on the planet when it comes to all the different things that we can do with it. But I didn't realize that that was still applicable to styles that we could do with just our natural hair. So I was able to experiment with, regular twists versus mini twists versus twists that are put into a bob and are more chunky with added hair accessories versus clumps, which are twists taken out in a certain way. Just so many different cool hairstyles that I was able to learn for the first time. And there is something about just walking around in life with just your hair on your head that feels good. It just gives you a certain type of confidence. And I'm not saying if you use braids with added hair that you can't be confident, but I do think that there's a certain energy that you get when the only thing on your head is actually just your natural hair. As a Black woman, it just feels glorious. I've also been able to experiment with tons of DIY products during this challenge, which has been awesome because I've never been a DIYer, but this year I've been really focused on Ayurvedic herbs, on making sure that all the things that are going into my hair, I've actually researched them, I understand their purpose, and I decide what is the best ingredient-filled product for my hair care. And I feel that I've really gotten some of my best results doing it that way. I think that this is one of my best blowouts, for example, and I love the fact that I used a product that I made with every single ingredient in there utilized for a specific purpose. That has really opened up a whole new world on this natural hair journey. Not to say that I can't still test out products when my hair is in braids, but obviously when your hair is not in a protective style, I just think that you're able to get a better grasp of how that product is really working in your hair. And so these past 5 months have been really helpful in giving me the time and space to really test things out over a long period of time. Now that we talked about the good, let's get into the bad and the ugly. I do believe that long-term protective styling with added hair, for me, I want to really make sure I emphasize for me, because I know a lot of you guys are going to try to come for me in the comment section and be like, I've been able to grow my hair without using braids. I get it. I know you've been able to do that. I'm talking about for me. Long-term braids with added hair are the best protective style for me because of how I am. When I would have my twists in for a month and they were in a bob, it would be like, okay, cool, I like it, it's nice, but what's next? Like, I want to do many things when I have my natural hair out. I want to have my fingers in my hair. Even when my hair is in twists or something, I would find myself just like playing with the kinks and coils in my hair, finding some knot to detangle, finding some single strand knot to play with. Like, I have this like obsessive need and desire to just want to run my fingers through my hair. Like, I can't just let it be when it's out. I can't, I'm sorry. And I know that that is extremely detrimental to our hair. So for me, I just found it very difficult to really be fully hands-off with my hair like other naturals are able to do. I think they have stronger willpower than I do. On the contrary, when I have my hair in braids, there's no chance for that. I'm not forcing myself to do all these different things. Like, they're literally locked into place. There's nothing that I can do with it. So sometimes with my hair being in that type of jail is good for someone who is overly touchy with their hair, because over time, all of that just playing in my hair and switching out hairstyles every couple weeks or so, it's just unnecessary manipulation, which leads to unnecessary breakage, which leads to less length retention. And I don't want that, especially with someone like myself who doesn't believe in trimming my hair frequently. I'm not trying to cause a lot of breakage and make, the ends of my hair extremely uneven. Even when my fingers weren't in my hair, just my hair being out, being either twisted or in some type of, natural low manipulation hairstyle, my hair was still able to move, right? It was still able to constrict and grow just based off of the humidity. I felt like it was still more prone to breakage, still more prone to tangling up on itself, because it wasn't really frozen into place. When I have braids in with added hair, my hair cannot go anywhere. Like, it can't do anything. So even though I am accumulating shed hair, those shed hairs are truly frozen into place. As opposed to when my hair is twisted, after a few days, like, I could start to see that there would be shed hairs that would be accumulating at the bottom of some of my twists, and those could cause tangles. It wasn't fully locked. So because of that, I think that over time, if I had continued to do that in comparison to braids, I think that I would not have been able to retain as much hair length. I want to, again, put out a disclaimer. I am not saying that you are incapable of retaining hair length without some type of protective style with added hair. That would be a ridiculous statement to make. You can see all over the internet that there are plenty of naturals that don't use long-term protective styling with added hair to grow their hair, and they have great results. But what works for one individual may not work for the other individual, because we are all different people with different desires, different habits, and different lifestyles. And I didn't really measure my hair like with a ruler or measuring tape or anything like that. I've kind of moved away from those kinds of things because to me it can just kind of feel a bit, I don't know, just a bit too stressful. I don't really want to look at my hair journey like that. I just want to look at my hair like, does it look good? Does it look like you've retained either the same amount of length or more? Do you look like you have the same relative amount of thickness or more? If I've got those areas covered, that's all I care about. Then I can tell that my hair is growing from then. Also, because I make all these videos, I can kind of see the progression of my hair over time. And so I will say that in comparison to my hair in the beginning of this challenge, I do feel that I have been able to retain some hair length. Now, my hair grows, I would say, pretty slowly in comparison to a lot of other people. My hair only grows about 1/4 of an inch per month. Even when I would take my hair out of braids after 6 months, I wouldn't say that I saw a drastic difference in hair length. For me to really see the difference in hair length, I would have to straighten my hair, or I have to go like 8 months to really see a massive difference from like a twist out, to me. I think that in 6 months, I can see a bit of a difference with a blowout, but because I'll always have different levels of how stretched my hair will be, it can be difficult to see that. But I do think that from just looking at my hair today compared to how my hair looked a few months ago, I think that I have been able to retain some length, which for me proves that, okay, Precious, you don't have to always do braids back to back if you don't want to. You can implement different hairstyles on your natural hair and be able to get length retention. What is my plan now moving forward? So for the next 6 months, believe it or not, I'm going to be embarking on a new hair challenge. Ironically enough, this is going to be a 6-month braids with added hair challenge. I know, hilarious, because literally my last challenge was the opposite of that. I think that my perfect routine is going to always have a mixture of at least 6 months of long-term protective styling and at least 6 months of low manipulation protective styling on my natural hair. This year I did that where the first 5 to 6 months were the low protective hairstyles on my natural hair, and the next 6 months will be just the braids with added hair. Maybe next year I'll experiment with 3 months in a long-term protective style, 1 month out, and then rinse and repeat. I'm not really sure. I gotta see how it goes. I gotta see how my hair feels. I gotta see what the vibe is. But for this year, for the next 6 months, I'm gonna be doing braids. So expect to see a lot of braids, which I'm really excited about because braids have been the fundamental way of how I've been able to retain my hair length. But I think that I do my braids a little bit differently than other people do, where the health of my hair is really at the focus. And I think that has been the most important aspect that has allowed me to retain so much hair length. So I'm excited to show you guys what that journey looks like, from how I redo the braids, to how I wash the braids, to how I try to reuse hair, like all of it. So if you're interested in seeing that, make sure to subscribe. Overall, I am really happy and proud of myself with what I've been able to do for the past 5 months. And I feel just a new sense of confidence in what I am able to do as a Black woman as it pertains to my hair. I feel like I can do anything, and that is just a really good feeling. I can do braids, I can do twists, I can do crochet. Like, it just feels really, really good when you know how to do your own hair. With that, I'd love to hear from you guys if you have recently finished a challenge, or if you are on a challenge right now or thinking about doing a challenge, what that has been like for you. And until next time, guys, take care of yourself.